Very pleasant morning to all the students of class 9th D. Beta, we are doing a truly beautiful mind. Most of you were present. I need not repeat it again and again. But just I would like to tell here that this chapter, A Truly Beautiful Mind, it's the biography of Albert Einstein, the great scientist who you can say is the reason behind or the name behind famous theories of science. And today we just know him as a scientist. We never got a chance to know him as a person. So this chapter, A Truly Beautiful Mind, would be telling us two sides of the coin. Fine, two sides of Albert Einstein. First side as a scientist, and second side as a human being, what went into his personal life, what sort of a child he was, whether he was social or not. Fine. So various things we'll get to know about Albert Einstein. And the main theme is, yesterday we discussed the theme. I had written the theme on the board yesterday. I was telling you that, great people do not become great overnight. And great people or successful people are not born great. Fine, this is something which develops gradually. They are just like us, right? They're just like normal children. So these skills or the interests or the aptitude, they develop gradually, and on the basis of that, we just, building is standing on the base of your interest only. Clear? So we'll get to know how as a child he never was able to speak by the age of 2.5. Fine, he did not utter a word, and suddenly he started speaking after 2.5 year old. And then we'll get to know that he was not a social persona. He was not mixing up easily with every other child. That's why people would call him brother boring. I'm just discussing the facts which we have read yesterday. Okay, beta. And when his sister Maja was born, he asked a question to his parents, where are the wheels of this toy of my sister actually? So he thought that everything is a toy. He loved mechanical toys. He loved playing with the mechanical toys. So that shows his interest could be seen in the early stage, but you cannot, judge that yes, this person will be a scientist or a doctor or a teacher at such an early stage. Clear? So this is what we have read so far. And one more thing, his headmaster, when he was going to school, his headmaster said that he's not going to make up in any of the subjects. You can say whatever subjects he take up, he's not going to make up, or he cannot be successful in this. But one should not be judgmental about one's personality at such young age. See, a headmaster himself might be thinking later on that what he did, what he said earlier. Fine. And but Einstein was not a bad student. He learned, he was good at almost all the subjects. Almost all the subjects. Very good. Almost everybody has joined. Only one child is absent today. If the child, if anybody knows, then kindly text that child and just call him to join. I'm not able to find who's absent. Fine. 45 are present. Well done. Total 46 students are there. So well done to all of you, and just be present on daily basis, better. Otherwise, there will be loss of your studies only. So we have read about his childhood stage, that how he was gifted in mathematics and physics. He was having interest. Fine. And he was not a bad student. He scored very much, you can say, okay, I guess Shabad Preet is absent. Fine. Okay, beta. So I was talking about, he was very good in all the subjects, almost all the subjects he was able to score more, but he was having the inclination. You know, every child has a favorite subject. You might be having the maths is favorite, English is favorite, science is favorite. So accordingly, he was having good marks, but he has inclination towards maths and science, right? Especially physics, that branch of science. And he did not like the school regimentation. I have written some points here. You can read Albert Einstein's biography, that is the heading. Then birth 14th March 1879. Learned violin at 6. At the age of 6-year-old, he learned to play very tough musical instrument, that is violin, and his mother wanted him to learn. Mother wanted him to learn, and he learned that also, and he was very proficient. He was not that professional in the early stage. That is that amateur learning. Amateur is unprofessional, just for the sake of one's satisfaction. Fine, he was not going to play that violin into any orchestra. He was playing for himself. You know, he was having that skill of playing violin. Then did not like school regimentation. Regimentation is that discipline, the rules, the orders. Shabad has also joined. Well done to all the students of 9th D. Well done, beta. Let him join. Okay. Okay, Shabad, beta, tomorrow onwards, please join well in time. And I want that nil absent should be there. I should send that message in the group. I would be appreciating to all the students. Fine. Well, very good, very good. Fine. Let's continue with this. So now we are talking about beta biography of Albert Einstein. Those who were absent yesterday, only 2 or 3 students. This chapter, A Truly Beautiful Mind, is about Albert Einstein's life as a scientist and his personal life too. So as a child, he was very good at playing violin. At the age of 6, he learned that skill. This is his birth date, 14th March 1879. He did not like the school order system. He liked going to school and learning, but he did not like that strict, atmosphere, that aura, that why things are being mugged up. And there should be practical learning, that sort of thing he wanted. Then gifted in maths and physics. He never believed in cramming the facts. He never liked history, because in history you just cram the things. So he was into the things which are having practical aspects. Fine. So he was very gifted in maths. He was having interest in maths and science. He was gifted also. So both the things were there. Sometimes we like a subject, but we are not good in it. While sometimes we are good in it, but we do not like reading it. So both the things are rarely present. So he was gifted with these 2 subjects, and he was having interest also. Then theory of relativity. We would be reading about theory of relativity today only. Fine. This is E is equal to mc square. You know, one movie is also there. If you can watch about Albert Einstein's life, and E is equal to mc square. This formula he invented, and how famous he became after it. He did not look back after the, we can say, this theory paper he published, and he became famous after this. So there is complete movie on this formula only. Then personal life, we would be talking about his marriage. He got married at young age, but that marriage didn't work. Then he got married with the second time with his cousin, and then after, he will be writing a letter to president with some regard. I will be explaining everything. This we haven't read yesterday. This we would be reading today only. So he died in 1955 at the age of 76. Okay. So I have given you a gist of the chapter. Now I would like to share the screen of the chapter with you all. Kindly look at your books only. Okay. As I always say, prefer looking at offline mode. Books are there. This screen sharing is for the ones if you do not have in case. Right, 7th paragraph we would be reading now. Let me enlarge for you people. Okay, now it's visible. So we were on page number 48. He also felt a special interest in a fellow student, Mileva Marek, whom he found to be a clever creature. Now keep your pencils ready. Creature is a living being only. Fine, creature is a living being. So, he was going to, learn something. at a place, at a professor's, you can say, and he liked one student, one fellow student, Mileva Marek. And we have friends which share our common interests. This is an, you can say, a natural phenomena, that alike people, those who are same and having same interests, having same bent of mind, they become friends. So he found that he was very clever. Clever here doesn't mean that in the negative way. Clever here means intelligent. Fine. So he found one person, Mileva Marik, very clever. This young Serb had come to Switzerland, fine, and he has shifted to Switzerland, the English-speaking part of the German-speaking part of the Switzerland, for his higher studies. So there he found this Mileva Marik. And this young Serb had come to Switzerland because the university in Zurich was one of the few in Europe where women could get degrees. At that time, women were not into higher studies much. They were there, no doubt, in foreign countries especially, but the trend was less, you can say. Now, these days, girls are, getting more degrees than boys even. So she wanted the degree from university in Zurich. It was the few in Europe where women could get degrees. So that's why she was there. So Mileva Marik, that girl, was also part of the group where Einstein was studying. Einstein saw in her an ally against the Philistines. Beta, meanings are just written in your book only. Ally is a friend or as an associate. Philistines are a word used disapprovingly to talk about people who do not like art, literature, or music. Fine. So the people who do not like art, who do not like music, or do not like literature, aesthetic sense is not that much in those people. Then we call those people Philistines. Fine. So he saw in her an ally against the Philistines, those people in his family and at the university with whom he was constantly at odds. Try to understand. He was not having same interest as of this girl Mileva Marik. There were many people who were at odds with him. At odds means who were quite opposite to him. He was having interest in sciences, and he was having interest in physics. He was having interest in music as well. Fine. That's why he used to play violin whenever he get time. Fine. So now here we are talking about the people who were constantly at odds. The couple fell in love. The opposites attract, and they started liking each other, being together. Mileva Marik and Albert Einstein. Underline this name, beta. Letters survive in which they put their affection into words. Mixing science with tenderness. Wrote Einstein, how happy and proud I shall be when we both have brought our work on relativity to a victorious conclusion. So, I told you, when you have same stream, so you can use same vocabulary while conversing. So while the conversation when goes on, so he liked that girl in spite of their odds. Their likings were different, but even then, being science students, being math students, having same batch, so they started liking each other. They started exchanging letters. Soon they fell in love with each other. Right. So what happened in 1900? At the age of 21, underline beta, this is the main information now. He was a university graduate and unemployed. At the age of 21, this is very young age, Some children, they complete their graduation even at the age of 22, 23, 20, 21. So at very, you can say, suitable age, he completed his graduation. But after graduation, he was unemployed. He worked as a teaching assistant, gave private lessons, and finally secured a job in 1902 as a technical expert in the patent office in Bern. Underline this major information again. Fine. Here they are telling us that he was working as a teaching assistant. He was not a teacher. As an assistant, he started working. So when you want to, become famous or whatever you want to achieve in your life, you cannot reach the zenith of success or the top place of success directly without climbing the stairs. There is no elevator to success. I always say elevator is lift which goes up. So you have to climb the stairs only to reach at any point in life. So once we have to start from somewhere. We have seen many people, we just see the achievements, we see the success, but there are stories behind their success. There are stories behind how they achieved this thing. Fine. So we should also look into the background of how they have achieved it, the story. So he became assistant, teaching assistant. He started giving private lessons, and finally he could secure a job in 1902 after 2 years of struggle as a technical expert in the patent office. Now, what is patent? The meaning is written in the book itself. A document which gives the rights of an invention to an inventor. Patents are there. If you have a particular, suppose you have invented something, you want a patent of that thing, you will be making it legally yours. A stamp will be imposed that that thing is yours in your name. Patent should be there so that nobody can come and claim that yes, this is invented by me. Right? So patents are for that purpose. It's a document which gives the rights of an invention to an inventor. So whenever he was inventing something, he has to get it patent in his name that he is the inventor of this invention. Okay. So he was working, he was not getting into these things. He started working at a patent office. He will be having more knowledge about the this thing. Einstein was actually developing his own ideas. Sorry, this line I missed. While he was supposed to be assessing other people's inventions, Einstein was actually developing his own ideas in secret. He's said to have jokingly called his desk drawer at work the Bureau of Theoretical Physics. Now, try to understand. This seems to be simple. This is quite tricky. He was working at a patent office in the place named Bern, right? Where everybody would come and show and made that documents of patent of inventions. He was supposed to assess the people's inventions there. His duty was whosoever was coming, he would be assessing the paper. But secretly, he was not that kind of person who was doing just one job. He was making his own ideas also. He was making inventions secretly, and he was having his own drawer. He was having his work desk jo hota hai. He was calling his desk drawer at work the Bureau of Theoretical Physics. When we work somewhere, we have a desk, we keep our books, documents, related accessories over there. So he would call his drawer of desk Bureau of Theoretical Physics. Why Bureau of Theoretical Physics? Because he was having his own work lying over there. He was assessing the work of others, as well as secretly he was working upon his work, his theory, his invention, and after completing his invention, he will get it patent also. Fine. One of the famous papers of 1905 was Einstein's special theory of relativity. Underline or double underline it. In 1905, his special theory of relativity, according to which, now, what is this theory of relativity? Everybody would like to know. Now we are reading this paragraph. Let me change it for you, highlight it for you. Now, this thing, I guess, this much we will be able to understand today. Yes. According to which time and distance are not absolute. According to theory of relativity, time and even, though we are language teachers, we can just give you one clear idea. Even your science teacher would be able to explain to practically to you. what this E is equal to MC square, but I can give you one idea, right? See, he's said to have, indeed, according to this theory, time and distance are not absolute. Absolute means measured in itself, not in relation to anything else. Indeed, two perfectly accurate clocks will not continue to show the same time if they come together again after a journey if one of them has been moving very fast relative to the other. So he is giving example. With example, we will be able to understand. There is a quote that even clocks shows the same time twice a day. 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the evening, right? So they are saying if two clocks are showing the same time, suppose it my clock it's 8:59 and at your clock also it's 8:59, but after the complete, you can say 24 hours or after some hours, if we'll check time, if it's a clock with a needle, there can be variation in the time. So he's saying one can be very fast relative to the other. From this followed the world's most famous formula, which describes the relationship between mass and energy. E is equal to mc square. Everybody of you will see a video on YouTube. If I will see, I will share the link in the group. E is equal to mc square, because I don't want to show it right now. Fine. So we are reading about E is equal to mc square. So this formula of this theory, though it is a scientific formula, but we have this in our language because we are talking about Albert Einstein. And when we talk about Albert Einstein, if no theory is there, no talk about the sciences is there, that is not possible. Fine. So I'm just making you understand on last beta of page 48, E is equal to mc square. I have already highlighted, you can see on your screens. In this mathematical equation, E stands for energy, M for mass, and C for the speed of the light in a vacuum. Fine. Science teacher would be able to give you a fair idea about what exactly this formula is. So in layman's language, I gave you example. Fine. If two clocks are just at the same time, but one is moving very fast relative to the other, fine, and there can be variation of the time, maybe it's a variation of some seconds or a minute or so, clear, but variation can be there. From this formula emerges, E is equal to mc square. Beautiful movies there on this E is equal to mc square, you can watch on YouTube. Videos are also there to make this formula understand for all of us in layman's language or in technical language also. They have, he has given one funny joke out of it. This is written: when you sit with a nice girl for 2 hours, it seems like 2 minutes. See, when you sit on a hot stove for 2 minutes, it seems like 2 hours. That's relativity. Albert Einstein. So I already told you Albert Einstein had two sides, one scientific side and one other side as a human being. Fine, we have already talked about his personal life as a child, how he just faced problems in his life. And in this, he's just giving one funny example to make us understand what relativity is all about. He's saying that when you sit with a nice girl or you are having, suppose when you are watching your favorite show, you are doing any activity which you like the most. If a child is playing with his favorite toy for hours, and when we snatch it after so long, even he will not give it back to us. He is relishing that moment. Even 2 hours are few minutes to him. So similarly, if we are having torture, and even if it for 2 minutes, that torture will seem like it's hours. So that's the way he is making us understand that if you This is called relativity according to Albert Einstein. Fine. So we have completed page number 48. We would be moving. Before moving, I would like to ask questions whether you are able to understand whatever I have taught or not. Clear? So you would be uh, now you would be raising hand whenever I'll ask a question to you. Okay, beta? My question is, was Einstein quite social? Was he talking to everyone? Very easy question. Just raise your hand. Let me go into the gallery view. No answers in the chat box, beta. You need to participate. Raise your hand. Was Einstein social persona? I want to see one child is raising hand. Yes, Tidiksha, answer it, beta.
Ma'am, no, he was not socialized as he did not talk to anyone. If something would be wrong, then he will speak.
Can you repeat it, Tidiksha?
Yes, ma'am. Um, Ma'am, he was not socialized. He did not talk to many people. When something would be wrong, then he would say anything.
Okay, nice. Fine. So he was not a social personality. He was never into making so many friends. Fine. He loved to play. And okay, before telling this, I would ask you, as a child, how he would spend his time if he was not a social personality, he was not making many friends, then how he was, you know, okay, one child again. I want any other child to speak now, not the same child again and again, beta. Yes, Karanveer, speak, beta.
He passes his time by finding new creations, and his mother also wants to learn him music at very early age. He
No.
used to play violet.
Could not understand my question, Karanveer. Okay, Riyanshika wants to answer. Okay, you just, Riyanshika, you speak, beta.
He would spend his time playing with mechanical toys.
Yes, mechanical toys. At very young age, he would play mechanical toys. Very good. Okay, we are left with only 2-3 minutes. Fine. So rather than just moving forward, I would ask questions whether, okay, what was the name his playmates would call him when he was a child? What his, okay, one child is, okay, Titiksha, you can't answer it. You have already given answer. With which name his playmates would call him? Yes, Gia, you have raised hand.
His playmates would call him Brother Boring as he never used to play with them.
So his playmates would call him Brother Boring because he was not socializing with any other friend. Okay. Let me ask you one more question. What did the headmaster tell Einstein's father? What did, yes, Dharya, you can speak, beta.
And that which profession Einstein will choose. That doesn't matter.
Ah, okay.
Ma'am, which profession he choose doesn't matter.
No, exactly the answer is not clear, Dharya. Here I would like to add that no matter what, which profession he would be choosing, he will not be successful in this. So that was the statement given by the headmaster. Fine. Next question is, what did he begin to learn at the age of 6? This is the last question. We are not having much time. Very easy. Okay, Lisa, you can speak, beta.
Violin.
This is the one word answer. How would you speak? Complete sentences. We are supposed to, my chat box is full with answers. Beta, you need to speak. Okay, raise hand and then speak. So he started learning, Albert Einstein started learning violin at the age of 6. Okay. With this, I would be ending the meet because we are not having much time left. Okay. Tomorrow we would be continuing from next page, beta. Only last page is left, and we would be doing question answers tomorrow only. So I want maximum participation. I won't be giving a single answer. You people will be telling me because we will complete the chapter. Okay. So be ready. Read the chapter. Read it again. Fine. Have a nice day, beta.